Welcome to the Cars of Palm Springs. I'm Denny Adams, your host. Today we won't be driving around town much. That's because our feature car is more at home on the racetrack or twisty mountain roads like this. It's a 2005 Lotus Elise. This isn't a mass-produced sports car. It's a purpose-built track car that happens to be street legal. So hop in, let's go for a ride. Actually, in this car, it's not as easy as it sounds. It's not readily apparent how to start the car. The owner jokes that he could toss the keys at most people and offer to let them drive the car if they can figure out how to start it. To start the car, you have to hit the security immobilizer button on the key fob, insert the key to the on position, and hit the engine start button. Dollar for dollar, this car has a lot of smiles per mile. It feels like you're flying, not driving. The steering is almost telepathic. It feels like it instantly goes wherever you're looking. American muscle cars are sledgehammers, the Elise is a scalpel. If a Ferrari is a hawk, the Elise is a hummingbird. It can outbrake and outcorner far more expensive supercars. The engine has variable valve timing and lift. The camshaft changes over at 6,000 RPM. So when you hit the cams, it really throws you back in your seat. At the end of this private road is Frank Sinatra's former house, Villa Maggio. It was built in 1967. We're going to the Escena Golf Club for the walkaround. Lotus was officially founded in 1957 by engineer Colin Chapman, who owned it for many years. Lotus has a rich Formula One racing heritage, dominating the 60s and 70s with innovations like monocoque construction, inboard suspension, and downforce ground effects. 2005 was the first model year the Series 2 Elise 111R was imported into the US, with about 3,300 cars. 2011 was the last year the Elise was imported, with just 77 cars making it to the US shores. The Elise was handmade at the Lotus factory in Hethel, England. The test track is an old RAF runway. The designers were inspired by the Dino Ferrari and by Ducati motorcycles. The chassis is made of extruded and bonded aluminum, making it super light yet strong. The Elise was named after Elisa Artioli, the granddaughter of then-owner Romano Artioli. She is still passionate about Lotus cars and has become somewhat of an international ambassador for the brand. The curb weight is 1,980 pounds. This car is 45 inches high. All the vents and ducts are functional on this car, with the exception of these little tail fins. The bottom consists of smooth panels. This forces the air to travel faster under the car, providing downforce than exiting the rear diffusers. Technically, this car is not street legal. It required a special exemption when the car was imported. The headlights are too low, and it lacks rear bumpers. A few of the things they did require for importation, though, was an emergency trunk release, which is kind of funny considering the size of the trunk, and these incredibly small sun visors. The engine is a Toyota Source 2ZZ 1.8-liter engine. It was jointly developed by Toyota and Yamaha. It has about 200 horsepower. It was also used in the Celica GTS. It has a Toyota Source 6-speed manual transmission. The radiator and oil coolers are up front. They connect to the engine through these very high and wide side sills. The wide side sills make it very difficult to get in and out of the car. Speaking of getting in and out, what better place to show you how to get in and out? The Elise has a well-earned reputation for being difficult for ingress and egress. Actually, getting in is quite easy. Simply bend down, go backwards, and fall in. Once you're inside, it's quite spacious. Getting out is more of a challenge. It's recommended you don't grab either the windscreen or the roof structure. It's also recommended not grabbing the steering wheel due to possibly bending the steering shaft. So getting out's sort of the opposite of getting in. Swing your legs over the wide sill and push up. The Elise is definitely not a practical around town car. The nose height is the same size as a medium drink. And then there's dealing with drive-thrus. So now let's go to the time trial course and see what this baby can do.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the show. Please hit subscribe, that way you'll get notified when we release new videos.